or the thump of bullet feels more natural and mechanical. You are actually very much in peace when you are riding. I've never had such an experience because I want to talk about the performance. I want to talk about two characters this engine has. Before that, I had Duke 200, I had R15S, I had a Charisma for some time, then I had a Domina. Hello guys, welcome to our channel Reviewing Indian. So we are back to another bike review, and coincidentally it is going to be another Royal Enfield. This is the review of my all new 2025 Bullet 250 standard black 12 channel ABS variant. So I've just bought it like around just 1.5 months back, and I've covered around 1500 kilometers. So this is going to be a very comprehensive review. I've driven it in the different road conditions, traffic conditions. I've did the first surveys and everything. So let's start the review. So I want to start talking about an experience in my life. So way back in 2000 actually. So I was in, I don't know, 8th or 9th standard, and I remember my brother has purchased one 1974 Bullet 350 second hand for around 12,000-13,000 rupees at that time. So my brother took me for a ride, and the first thing I told him was that it feels like a car. So that was the statement. There was no other statement like why it feels like a car or anything. And I clearly remember why I said so, because the comfort level of that bike, the 1974, I think heavy crank cast iron engine wala, the gear lever was on the right side, the brake was on the left side. So that one was ultra comfortable. So we only used it for I think 6 months or 1 year, then my brother sold it. But that was the thing which struck me at that time. Then fast forward, I bought a Meteor. If you remember, if you had watched my video, you will see that I bought a Meteor in 2021. Then I used it for a 1.5 years, then I sold it. So due to personal as well as vehicle related reasons, then I had a Continental GT 535 which I bought from a friend of mine, ex-colleague. So that also I had to sell it because everything is connected to my review of this bike actually. So why I sold this, or I sold my Gixxer, which was my previous bike, Gixxer 250, and got the Bullet 350. So before we start, there is a simple statement. If you're looking for a very fast, techy, gadgety and fast, sporty bike, just pause or stop this video and go back and search for some other video, because a Bullet 350 is not such a bike. Okay, so it is not too techy, it is not very fast, it is fast reasonably. It is not like a sharp handling stuff or anything like that. So like anybody else, I was attracted towards the Bullet as a brand and what it offers as a logical reason as well as emotional reason. So that is the starting what I had to say. So if you're looking for something fast and techy and glamorous, just go and search somewhere else. So I sold Gixxer and I bought the Bullet. So I'm coming there. Why I sold my Gixxer? So if you see my previous videos, I bought Gixxer when I was in Chennai. So Chennai has great roads, open roads. The road quality was very good. So I was very happy. Even when I took it to my home in Kerala, it was still good. But when I came to Pune, now I'm in Pune, the problem is the road condition. So the road quality is, in my experience, for a state which has this much revenue, is really bad. Okay, so it's not just the bad patches. Maybe you can even say that the bad patches are not there, but the overall quality of the road is very bad. There are a lot of speed breakers which kind of looks or comes out of nowhere. It's not marked. Then there are like uneven surfaces. Then there are like patches where the road is missing, and it is very harsh when you're riding a very sporty vehicle like a Gixxer. So few months back, I started getting a very slight feel of back pain. So So far, if you look at my experience, I never had back pain in any of the bikes I've used. So I was like thanking God that. But this time, after riding Gixxer for almost 6-7 months in Pune conditions, I like was scared. Alright, I'm getting back pain. So that was the main trigger. So I wanted something comfortable. So I sent the Gixxer to Chennai to my friend and got it solved. But then I started looking for a comfortable bike. So the first preference was a Xpulse 200, which I thought will be very comfortable. So I took the test ride, it was comfortable, but the engine never felt to be that smooth or torquey. So it felt like something underpowered. So I couldn't wait for the new 210cc bike, which I haven't tested in so far. So I did one thing. I went to Royal Enfield showroom. I asked him for a test ride of Bullet 350 because what attracted me was the seat shape. So it looked very, single piece seat, which looked very nice and comfortable. So I thought, okay, I will do a long test ride and find out. I didn't have any plan to buy. Then I told the dealer that I want to ride it for a longer ride. He said, okay, take for longer ride. So I did around 5 km ride across bad roads, speed breakers, because I know where the bad roads are. And I was bowled over by the comfort factor. So if you have some bad back and looking for a comfortable bike, this is the bike for you, because the suspension is comfortable, that's the main factor, but the seat is also very comfortable. It might get slightly, your bottom might get slightly sore after 1-2 hours of riding in bad surface, but still it is nowhere as bad as my Gixxer or any other fast Japanese bikes. This is very comfortable. It actually soaks up a lot of bumps and potholes and everything, and along with the suspension it feels very good. So that is the main reason I was bowled over how comfortable this bike is, because when you ride from the main road to my flat, there is a bad patch where actually you feel that when I'm in Gixxer or even Xpulse, some jerk and the vibration was coming, so I always go to that was the feel. But in this Bullet, I remember I was chasing one Xpulse one day because he cut me and I thought I will follow him. This thing went through that patch like the patch was a smooth surface. So then, my God, I'm surprised. Then I took it to Mahabaleshwar and there was bad patches. So it is very comfortable. That's the main thing. So the another thing I want to say is why I didn't go for a CB350 or a RS350 Honda. I love Hondas, so the smoothness is good, it is reliable, but somehow I didn't feel the CB350 or the Highness 350. I felt like it is lacking that I don't know, character. Maybe I don't know why it is, because for me the Bullet and Royal Enfield feels more I might say, so sorry for that, authentic. Especially the Bullet shape, the way it looks, that old livery, the tear-shaped fuel tank and the flowing seat and the spoke wheels, the halogen headlamp, because it doesn't have LED, thank God for that. So the overall proportion of the bike of a Bullet 350 looks way better than CB350. Of course, CB350 is much smoother and I'm sure it will be much more reliable, maybe I don't know, faster. And one more thing is the thump. The thump of CB or the thump of Bullet feels more natural and mechanical compared to the CB350, because CB350 feels, you can feel the sound on the exhaust, but the overall mechanical feel is not there. Maybe it's a tuned exhaust, but in Bullets you can feel a bit of noise from the engine, which is not annoying. You can feel the sound flowing from the engine to that exhaust. Very rider might get some thumpy feel when you are in higher gear, lower RPM. When you're giving a throttle, it will go but it goes, it's very nice, but the pillion will enjoy it more, so it feels much more authentic thump. Then performance, the sense I'm not comparing with CB350, it might be faster, but overall I like, because if you know, I had a Meteor 350, and that I used to cruise in it actually. So 500 plus kilometer one day I rode in my videos. So that same performance you are getting here. So you can sit at 100 kph whole day. So performance is really good. When I want to talk about the performance, I want to talk about two characters this engine has. So when you are actually, I don't know, because there is no tachometer, around below 2000 rpm and riding very calm, quiet, it is a thumpy, a comfortable motorcycle. So you are riding very slowly, accelerating very smoothly, and when you are keeping the rpm below 2000 means you are cruising at 60 max. It is a very comfortable, very thumpy. You are actually very much in peace when you are riding. I've never had such an experience, because if you look at my previous bike, I had Gixxer, then I had put a review of my Meteor, and even before that I had Duke 200, I had R15S, I had a Charisma for some time, then I had a Dominar, so many bikes. And when I was a younger guy, when I was a kid, my brother used to have an RX100, I even tried that also. So those bikes felt fast, but I could never enjoy the slow pace around me. So the best part about this smooth suspension, that below 60 performance, the thumpy exhaust note, that low end of this bike, is that even in a very chaotic Pune traffic, I am at peace. So you can ride at your own leisure. You can pull the vehicle in second gear on speed breakers without too much of an issue. So that is the best part about the performance. But there is a second nature for this engine. So what you are ending is with that above 80 kph especially, the engine starts revving fast. So unlike the older Bullet which will struggle, this starts having a character where the performance is going up, and 100 kph it is really fast revving nature comes, and around 90 to 120 it feels very fast, especially for such a big massive bike. I'm saying for a Bullet and for a heavy bike. So these two character, one side this bike is a very calm, quiet bike where you can enjoy ride, where your heart will beat a few beats less compared to other bikes. But at the same time, when you want cruising on the highway, when you want to accelerate above 80 kph, the engine becomes fast and you can do good speeds. So this is two character which I like, because which I experienced in the Meteor also. But I somehow feel that compared to Meteor, this one is more relaxed, that nature. So then as I told, the overall looks which I like very much, it is very classy looking. And then one thing I want to talk about, the headlamp. So I tried my friend's classic 350 with a LED headlamp. It looks cool actually, white light and everything, but somehow when I tried it, it didn't feel like giving me enough lighting at the night, the classic 350 LED headlamp. But this one with the halogen headlamp gives that sort of what do you say, that natural throw yellow light. And most of us been aware that the Bullet's halogen headlamps are very powerful. So I'm very happy with the headlamp. Maybe a bit more I could make the headlamp go up, but otherwise I'm happy with the halogen headlamp compared to the LED headlamps of classics. So that is one thing. Then the overall mileage, I'm not a person who's much bothered about the mileage, but the mileage part also I like it. So when I went to Mahabaleshwar and came back, which was around total 300 kilometer up and down, I got about 35 kmpl mileage, so no problem. So this is, if I'm right, 11 liters fuel tank. I don't know, that's in 11 or 12 liters, I had to check that, I'll put it in here. So it is giving more than 300 kilometer range, which is more than sufficient. Then brakes are good. It is not ultra sharp, but it works. So far I didn't have any panic moments. I have tried in all the conditions. I went to Tamni Ghat section, city roads, highways, everything. So the braking is good. Maybe the rear brakes could have a bit more what you call bite. It feels slightly wooden, but overall performance is good. Then the meter, speedometer seems okay, because I love analog meters. So I am a kind of person who likes old school watches. So if you look my channel, you will see that just I put some quick unboxing of Baudry titanium automatic watch. So I like something like that. So I like the analog dials. The fuel gauge is not very inaccurate. It feels like it is uh, moderately accurate. So no, so far no issues. And overall, the feel, the spoke wheels. Spoke wheels is another thing I want to talk about, because in 1500 kilometer, even before I bought this bike, I had this apprehension that what will happen to the spoke wheel? Will it, because it's a tube type spoke wheel, and what will happen to the tires? Will it have puncture? Will it become more unreliable? But there are two things I want to talk about. One, no puncture so far, even after 1500 kilometer. Second is the spoke wheels compared to your alloy wheels has more absorption capacity. The spoke kind of flexes and it absorbs a lot of impact. So the ride quality may be also added by this spoke wheels. At the same time, it is very reliable, no problem whatsoever. So I'm happy about that also. So none of the issues which I thought will be there have not come. If you ask me, the service experience, nothing remarkable or nothing bad also. I took it there. There was a big queue. I told I had to go to office. I handed over the vehicle to the dealer for a service, and he called me after some time saying what are the issues. I said some small things, some slight metallic noise coming from somewhere in the engine, not from inside the engine. Something was rattling, so they tightened it. I felt that the headlamp was slightly misaligned with the handlebar, so they did some tightening, and that also tightened. So that was the only thing. So service experience was good. I paid around 1600 because I asked for the polishing of that vehicle also, because you have to keep it in spick span condition. So that is what I done. So overall, this is the point. So let me refer to the yeah. One more thing maybe I would have preferred is I wish it had a sixth gear. The reason is I don't have any complaint, because even at 100 kph I can go anywhere I want to, or it can even max out at 120 kph. So if you're worried about the top speed, it will still hit 120 kph without any problem. But I wish if it had sixth gear, it will be like even better, because the engine feels like it has more power in reserve. Maybe Royal Enfield had to cut down the performance because you have to put the 450 above it or 411 above it, then or 440 above it, then you have to put a 650. So if it put a sixth gear, it will be faster than, maybe as fast as a 450. So maybe that's why they did not put a sixth gear in this bike. I would have preferred that actually. So overall, I feel actually I made a very good purchase, because I never enjoyed a bike this much before, because maybe it's my age also. So I'm close to 40, and maybe I like to have a more relaxed feel, because I know that when I want to accelerate, it will accelerate and go fast. But when you are in traffic, you are actually taking your own sweet time to ride this thing. It is torquey, thumpy, the ride is comfortable, the handling is good. So I want to talk about the handling part. Sorry for forgetting that. The handling part is basically, for a 195 kilogram bike, it handles beautifully. It is not a sports bike like a Gixxer or like an R15, but I was going up the ghat to Mahabaleshwar. I think after the tunnel there was a section. So one guy in Splendor was trying to catch me. So I was riding slowly because I don't want to go fast. I know that it's faster than a Splendor. But that guy did some very odd maneuver. He cut me and he went. Then I got triggered, of course. Then I wanted to show him how good this bike is without being too being a bad rider. I don't want to be like a chapri or whatever you call. I don't want to be that. Sorry for using that word, but I don't want to be that sort of thing. But I wanted to show him. So I gave the throttle, the vehicle picked up, the acceleration came, the thumb became faster. Then in that corners, Splendor, maybe, I don't know, maybe there is less power for that bike, but still it was bouncing around in the sections and trying to catch me. But I kind of flew. So for a fast bike with this much comfort orientation, it still handled beautifully, and the torque and the thumb, I could go much faster, and I went up the hill, came down, then I slowed down, let him go, because I just want to show that only. I'm not a very aggressive rider. So handling is good. So this is one of the one of my favorite bike now as of now, because it makes me feel so good. And overall the look of the bike, I don't know how many people will like the statement, but this is a bike where I park it in my parking space, and before I just turn the corner towards my lift, I look back at it, because one more look, because it looks beautiful, this bike. So this is the review. I haven't got any complaints so far. Hopefully it will stay that way. Maybe accessories, I put a crash guard thing, very basic crash guard. Then I bought a cheap tank cover because things were getting scratched. The only thing with tank cover is that you have to basically remove the tank cover quite often and clean the tank. Otherwise what will happen is that it will create some marks on top of the tank, so you have to be careful about that. So that is the only thing. So hopefully this review helps you guys, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave behind, and also don't forget to subscribe the channel. So thank you very much. Cheers.